My New Year's resolution is to take 12 mini vacays, and if you want to know where I'm going to go and how I'm going to do it, stay tuned. I am that friend that is always on a trip, planning a trip, talking about a trip. And so I decided to get organized and branch out and do a travel vlog this year. Hi, my name is Stephanie, and by trade, I'm a full time fashion reseller, so I work for myself. Previous to that, I was a middle school teacher for 23 years. So I had a job where I had very set breaks, but I did have breaks year round, and I got used to traveling on the breaks. And now that I work for myself, I've really kind of gone crazy, and I can travel at the off times when people are at work and kids are still in school. So, since traveling is my love language, I created a new one. I decided to take you guys along for the journey as I go on 12 mini vacays this year. Now, some of them are going to be with my husband, some of them are going to be with my husband and my kids, my sister, but probably the majority of them will be on my own because your girl needs some time, like, to do her own thing. So, a couple of things. I am not made of money and have to operate on a budget just like everyone else in the world. Like I said, married, have two kids. So, let's first discuss money and scheduling. So, in order for me to take these 12 trips, I've got to work within my husband's schedule as well as the schedule of our business and the schedule of my two daughters. And so, for that reason, most of these trips will be during the week. It is more economical to go at the off times and not cross over a weekend, but it's also like easier since my youngest daughter is in school during the week. She's only 11 and my oldest daughter is away at college, so my husband wouldn't have as much stress as if it were summertime. And there will become a summertime, but right now our summer trips are as a family for June. So July will be a solo trip, but I haven't planned that far ahead. So, going along with that, because I am a full time reseller, I source items to list on eBay, Poshmark, and the other places. And I'll link my reselling channel below if you're interested in reselling as well. But we list about 200 items, 150 items a week right now. So I have to front load that so that my husband can continue to process and we can continue to list things even while I'm traveling. So that is another consideration for work. So work does not stop just because I am not there. My husband is still doing his part and processing, and he does shipping, so he ships out everything, and I am still checking in, doing customer service, and if I feel like sourcing, I will source as well while we're on the trip. Now, as far as resources, while I wish I could say there was a money tree in my backyard, there is not. And actually, reselling is not consistent. It can be up and down. And so I've got to be strategic with how much I've spent. I've decided on a budget of $1,000 a month for travel, and anything that I don't spend in that month will roll over to the next month. So I've decided to use some money that my dad had left me. He passed away almost 4 years ago, and I had an inheritance that I have guarded fiercely and only dipped into when I needed to do something for the kids, or, I have that. So I am going to take $12,000 out of that, transfer that into my account, and that is going to be my budget. I think this is an excellent way to spend some of that money because my dad loved to travel and wanted to go lots of different places. And so it's just kind of like paying honor to his memory by me using some of that money that he left me to take these adventures. So in this channel, I want to do a lot of vlogging, which I talk about all the time on my other channel, that I suck at vlogging because I forget to record myself, or I'm kind of shy in public and don't record myself. But I really want to bring you guys along up front. So this will probably be like the last place. I'm in the library right now, the public library, just because I was out doing things, and so here I am. But I want to do a lot of vlog style videos and take you along on my adventures in this channel as well. I want to provide some travel tips and hacks and to make travel stress free or less stress for people. I know a lot of my friends are very envious of, I don't know if envious is the word, but they always talk about, oh, I wish I could travel. I wish I could travel. And I think a lot of us can travel, and we don't because of fear, finances, whatever. I could probably do this without taking the $1,000 out a month out of my other account, my special savings account. I could probably still do many travel trips every month, that for less than 1,000 or whatever. So I do want to show people how travel can be affordable, and even if you don't have $1,000 extra a month to spend going somewhere, just some travel saving hacks to help it be more stress free and more cost efficient. Also, I want to show you some fun destination guides, some things that I can do. Every location I go to, I want to show you at least 3 things that you can do for free while you're there. Like I said, I am very cost efficient, and while I enjoy the finer things in life, I cannot afford them. So I've got to work on a budget. And some practical advice. We can all learn from my mistakes. And I often talk about this in my reselling channel that, yeah, I make mistakes. I'm learning every step of the way, and that's okay to make a mistake as long as nobody gets hurt in the process. We can learn from them. And I'd love to share my personal experiences, stories, bring a little humor to it, and for my reseller besties who've come over to join me, just a different side of my personality, because I know I can be very focused on resale on that channel, and I know like people are trying to learn something over there, so I wanted to bring just a different feel over here. So I am super passionate about traveling and doing things while you can and exposing yourself. And if you have children, to adventures. Like I said, taught school for 23 years, and it always made me sad when kids were like, I've never left the city. Like, I live in central Indiana. I taught in Indianapolis public schools, and there were kids that had no idea. In fact, we were outside for a field day once, and the airport was the next exit from my school, and we were outside, and the kid said, "Why are so many planes flying over?" And I was like, "Because the airport is right there." Like, they did not know that the airport was that close to where we were. They had never been that way, and so it's not even about just. I think exposure to other places, other people, other cultures. Even here within the United States, there is great value in that, and it helps you develop empathy and lots of other great resilience. And the more I have traveled, and I've been fortunate enough to travel around the world, the more I have traveled, the more I have realized that all of humanity is the exact same. I have been, like I said, all over the world and met shitty people, and met the kindest people, just like I have in my grocery store right by my house, whether they're white, black, brown, Asian, European, Australian, Italian. I have met people from all around the world, and we are all the same. And I'm just ready to get out and explore and show you guys as well my adventures. I know I've been watching a lot of travel vloggers in preparation to starting this channel. And one thing I notice is there's not a lot of travel vloggers that have children that don't take their children on every trip. So I will take my kids on, especially my 11-year-old, on one, at least that you guys will see. We'll probably go on more. But that have a husband that is staying home while I go travel. And so there's also that dynamic as well. So just not only some travel advice, but like just to show you how different relationships and family dynamics and people who work for themselves, the freedom that that brings. So this is just one of the endeavors that I am, passion projects that I'm starting in 2025. So I appreciate you guys, if you're from the reselling channel, following over. And if you're new here, like new to me, thanks for joining. Now, I bet you want to know where I'm going. Well, here we go. So I've got the first 2 months planned out. So January 2nd through 5th, we are going to Las Vegas, me and my husband. This is a trip that he planned for us, and it was planned before I got this wild hair back in November. Our anniversary was back in October. We were unable to take this trip because my children had too much school stuff going. So he scheduled it for the 2nd through the 5th of January. So we are going to Las Vegas. I'm super excited. I don't know what he's got planned. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what we're staying. I'm just getting on the plane and going. And then also in January, I'm going to Orlando for the National Cheerleading Championship. My oldest daughter, both my daughters are cheerleaders, but my oldest daughter is a cheerleader for Indiana University, and they will be competing down there. And then from there, my sister and I will go on a 4-day cruise on the Utopia of the Seas, leaving out of Port Canaveral. I'm super excited. I am an avid cruiser, and I generally take 4 cruises a year. So this will be the first one of the year. I've never been on Utopia of the Seas, so I'm excited to go on that. Moving on to February, I am going to Miami for 3 days. It is a solo trip, and I'm just excited to go anywhere where it's warm because it is like 20 degrees here in central Indiana. So in addition to these like longer trips, because the channel is called Do Stuff with Steph, I want to take you along to do some other things besides like travels, just like different events. I'm like going to go make a pot and do all of those crafty, artsy things, like just fun activities that we have here in central Indiana and that you might have in your city that you never thought about doing. I think my first video is like hot yoga, so we'll see about that. But if you're still here, thank you so much. Be sure to hit all my buttons so that YouTube knows that you're here. Subscribe and share out the channel so that people can find me and we can find the right family and build the right family on this channel. I am looking forward to filling my cup this year and having as many joyful experiences as I can and sharing them with you here on this channel. So let me know in the comments down below what you plan to do this year and what adventures you have in store. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Thank you.